Greetings and welcome, fellow cryptocurrency enthusiasts and investors, of course. Ryker here, the architect and developer of the Silubium consumer cryptocurrency, as well as the related Silubium software applications, including the Silubium wallets, etc. I thought I would update you guys on some big news which a number of people have been asking me about, and that is the update of Silubium to Silubium 2.0. There are a number of very exciting new features which I have succeeded in implementing into Silubium 2.0, making it in many ways even better than Silubium 1.0. So without further ado, let's get started. So the contents of this presentation, I should probably mention, I originally did this presentation in Chinese, and I've just roughly translated it in order to give to be able to provide everyone outside of China with an update on what is going on with Silubium and what Silubium 2.0 will include and feature. So there might be some, errors and information which I included specifically for the Chinese market, but it should be interesting for the most part. So right, first of all, the new Silubium, the new ticker symbol for Silubium 2.0 will be SLU as opposed to SLB, which was the ticker symbol for the original Silubium 1.0. The Silkworm technology, which I am currently testing and will be implemented and included in the Silubium 2.0 infrastructure. The Silkworm is, of course, the next generation of the consensus mechanism, and I will explain what that means later on. It is basically mutual proof of stake technology. So there will be Silkworm, pretty important, and then the Silubium wallets will also be experiencing, or will also be subject to updates. The Silk chain, which many of you have already used, already exists and is already online. Some features will also be added to that. And then something new, third-party payment options, including Silk Pay, as well as FiPass, which is great news. The data uplink protocol, or actually the data upload protocol, I should probably call it, is also a new and very exciting feature which is now included in the Silubium infrastructure. Silubium 2.0 will make it possible to upload digital files to the blockchain, similarly to the way that Factom does. Of course, Silubium has a lot of other features that systems such as the Factom system do not have, etc. But I'll explain that later. And then finally, where to obtain Silubium, of course, where to trade Silubium and where to sell Silubium at the Silk Trader or on the Silk Trader trading platform, as was the case before. The Silk Trader trading platform, by the way, is currently also undergoing a huge update, and we are working on that as we speak. Okay, so first of all, as mentioned, Silubium 1.0 will be updating to Silubium 2.0 with the new ticker symbol SLU. Alright, so one of the I think what I'll do here actually is just explain to you with emphasis on the new features what Silubium 2.0 includes as opposed to Silubium 1.0. So uploading data to the blockchain, to the Silk chain, as I call it, of course was not supported in the case of Silubium 1.0, but this is now very much supported. This is a very exciting new feature which will make it possible for many of the larger customers as well as eventually individuals to upload data to the Silk chain. POS mining for encrypted wallets will now also, in the case of Silubium 2.0, include a notification feature, and this was not included in Silubium 1.0. So this is a new feature which is supported by Silubium 2.0, notifications for POS mining in the case of encrypted wallets. Also, transaction amounts will directly be indicated, and the estimates for each transaction taking place will be indicated more clearly, or actually more accurately rather, than was the case before. There will also no longer be any need for users to manually set transaction fees, well, that is also an improvement upon Silubium 1.0. Okay, then number 4, big news here, POS 2.0 updated to POS 3.0. The reason for this, as some of you may know from the crypto news, etc., is that there are some safety concerns with POS 2.0. Although we have never experienced any safety issues with Silubium 1.0, I have now succeeded in updating it to POS 3.0, meaning that there are now no longer any safety concerns. Multi-sig features, this is a little bit technical for ordinary users and investors, but basically this is now supported in the case of Silubium 2.0. This was not the case in the case of Silubium 1.0. Smart contracts will now be supported. Also, huge new feature in the case of Silubium 2.0 was not previously supported. And also, I have added a token feature to Silubium 2.0, which Silubium 1.0 did not include. To put it simply, I would not say Silubium 2.0 has all the features of all other cryptocurrencies, but it certainly has pretty much all the attractive features of 3rd and 4th generation cryptocurrencies, and also has some very useful and pretty excellent features, such as data uploading, the ability to upload data to the blockchain, etc. Some other technical information with regard to the update to Silubium 2.0. So the blockchain capacity has increased from 2 megabytes to 8 megabytes. Op return has increased its volume from 40 bytes to 1024 bytes. Based on the UTXO security framework, EVM smart contract feature has been added. An added feature which only allows unlocking of mining wallets has also been included. The address format has changed from the first character in the address string being an S to the first 3 characters now being SLU. The fees, this will probably make a lot of you quite happy, have been reduced even further, quite drastically in fact. And this is for various reasons, because obviously Silubium is going up in value. Once again, it has recently been rallying, and it is quite possible that Silubium becomes very, very valuable in the future. So I have reduced the fees even further. After much discussions and many meetings, this was agreed upon. as some of you might remember, the maximum fee used to be 0.05% and the minimum fee 0.01%, and these fees were determined based on the size of each transaction. The new fees now are 0.00005% and all the way down to 0.00001%. So much cheaper than was the case before, even though the fees, generally speaking, for Silubium transactions were very cheap to start with. As mentioned, the fees will still be lower the greater the amount of coins are being transacted. The lowest transferable amount, it should be mentioned though, is 0.0001 Silubium per transaction, and the highest will be 0.5 Silubium per transaction. The POS interest is number 7. The POS interest system, which I designed for Silubium 1.0. I specifically refer to it as an interest system and not a reward system because it makes it easier for non-technical people or people who are not necessarily interested in the technical aspect of how POS works and so on to understand it in user terms. And the reason I call it interest is because it is a guaranteed reward, so to speak, which is awarded on any amount of Silubium held within Silubium wallet every month, and this interest rate is 0.58%, which amounts to around 7% per year, and that is a guaranteed interest on any amounts held in Silubium wallet. The reason I implemented this to start with was in order to offset to some extent coins which will invariably be lost on the Silubium blockchain, and this is the case, of course, with all cryptocurrencies, since the total amount of available coins cannot be increased once the chain goes online. So in addition to this, there will also be an additional reward of 1 Silubium coin, which will be issued. This is actually not 10. I've changed this now further to 5. This will be issued over 5 separate payments, and this will take effect after 100 confirmed blocks. This is what I referred to earlier as the new Silkworm consensus contract. Right. So let's understanding Silkworm is not that complicated really, but what I did include in my original Chinese presentation is a very brief abridged history of the evolution of consensus mechanisms from 2008 in the case of Bitcoin all the way to the quantum mutual proof of stake consensus mechanism in 2017, and also the basic formulas on how these work. But you'll see later on also, if you are interested in the technical aspect of it, how the Silkworm consensus mechanism works under the hood, so to speak. So here is a diagram of the Silubium Silkworm mutual proof of stake consensus mechanism. Alright, let's take a look directly at the diagram. I think that will be more useful. So, sorry, this I got to change again. It is now no longer 10, it is 5. Okay, but alright, so coins are stored online via UTXO. It is possible to obtain blockchain hodling rights or stacking rights, if you like, and as mentioned, a rate of 0.58% of monthly rewards or monthly interest is added to any amount of Silubium coins held in the wallet. Over a 12-month period, this then amounts to 7%. In addition to this, there is now also an additional reward, which is the issuing of 0.1 Silubium coins. Well, I guess this would be 0.2 because, alright, 0.2 over 5 payments, Silubium raws, after 100 blocks, confirmed blocks, obviously. And, okay, this is gonna have to be changed to 5. We are in the process of finalizing this, but it's fairly certain that it's going to be 5 consecutive blocks. And of course, if it's 5 consecutive blocks, then that means 0.2 Silubium coins will be issued for each payment after 100 confirmed blocks. So you get an additional, what that means for the user is that you get an additional 1 Silubium coin after 100 confirmed blocks as a reward, an additional reward, in addition to the 0.58% per month guaranteed interest, reward interest, which amounts to an increase of 7% on the entire blockchain over a 12-month period. Alright, here is some more exciting news. Well, first of all, this is a screenshot, an early screenshot of a version of the new wallet. Of course, this is in Chinese because I just happen to have a screenshot of the Chinese interface right now, but it is obviously available in English, and it might end up looking different. We're still working on the UI. But the big news I just mentioned a moment ago is that we will also be, we are actually developing and are quite close to completing the development of a Raspberry Pi mining device, so a proof-of-stake mining device, which will be available on Windows, Linux, and of course Raspberry Pi, which runs Linux. The lightweight nodes will also be accessible via or available via web, Android, iOS, and the hardware, which I just mentioned. Okay. Oops. Okay. There we go. Right. This is a fairly simple diagram illustrating just how the Silk chain works. And well, as you can see, very similarly to many other blockchain systems, there are full nodes and there are light nodes, and the lightweight nodes or the light nodes are connected to the full node network via APIs. Right, so this is the Silk chain Silubium public ledger, which many of you are probably already familiar with. This is my version of the public ledger for Silubium, and the screenshot you're looking at right now happens to be in Chinese because this presentation I originally created for internal training purposes here in China for the Chinese staff here, but there is of course an English version available. If you simply click on English in the top right corner, then everything will be displayed in English. Some new technical information has now been added, however, well, has now been added to each block display. However, this will probably not be of much interest to ordinary users or speculators. You can take a look at that by simply going to the Silubium public ledger Silk chain at this address over here, https://silkchain.silubium.org. So I would like to now talk about some of the payment channels, and this would include SilkPay and FiPos specifically. So most of you probably know about some of the mainstream existing payment channels such as UnionPay, WeChat Pay, Alipay, etc. it is now possible to carry out payments via our SilkPay feature. And the way this works is that the buyer and the seller both register accounts on the SilkTrader trading platform. The buyer then initiates a payment request, the seller receives the coins, and the seller then remits cash via C2C payment feature. Offline payment via FiPass works in the following way. So the buyer will download the app and fund it with Silubium coins. The buyer then scans a QR code, or the buyer's QR code is scanned. The seller withdraws the coins to the SilkTrader trading platform, in other words, to their own account on the SilkTrader trading platform. And finally, the seller then pays for the coins via the C2C payment feature. So these are two new payment features, payment channels available with Silubium 2.0 via the SilkTrader trading platform. The data I should probably say upload. Protocol works as follows. It's fairly simple. This is what I've called the silk screen. There are a number of devices and methods by means of which this will be implemented: smart earrings, smart door locks, and Circus Coffee, which is a franchise, a coffee shop franchise over here in Asia. As mentioned, a patent has already applied for the silk screen system. I doubt that I will have anything to do with the patent, because that's kind of how things work here, but there is a patent out for it, and I guess that's a good thing. So anyway, basically, an enterprise or a user such as yourself, if you want to upload data to the silk chain, you can upload it via the silk screen consensus mechanism. The silk chain then logs this data. It is synchronized throughout all the nodes, and the silk screen then makes this data available via an application terminal, such as a web browser or an app. SilkTrader, we mentioned earlier, many of you have already visited SilkTrader. You can now also access SilkTrader by means of simply typing in st.bi in your web browser. We are working on the localization of SilkTrader at the moment, to make it more accessible and easy to use for users outside of China. But the original silktrader.net URL still remains, so you can still access it there. The English is available as an option, but yeah, it still needs some work. You can definitely use it though, and you can definitely trade C2C or P2P, coin-to-coin transactions and so on at silktrader.net. Alright, this information here is mainly for internal purposes, new employees and so on. I included this just to explain more or less how it works. But we can briefly cover it. So fees for C2C transactions, well, perhaps I should explain this a little more clearly. For purchasing, or let's say for buying, the fees are free. There are no fees. For selling, the fees are 1%. Same for B2B transactions. The C2C fee, I should probably mention, may change. It may become a 1% fee for any types of transactions. So I don't want to put that in stone right now, but it it may just as likely end up being basically the same as for B2B transactions. In other words, I should probably, for those of you who don't know what B2B means in this context, coin to coin transactions. Okay. The reason they call it B2B over here is because the Chinese character B actually means, sorry, it's not that one, it's that one. This character actually means coin in Chinese, so they call it B Jiao Yi, which means coin-to-coin transactions, but in English it should more accurately be called coin-to-coin. That makes it much easier to understand and not B2B. Okay, anyway, cultural differences, language differences. So that's how the fees will work. Pretty much C2C will either be 1% for all transactions or 1% for selling and free for buying. But coin-to-coin transactions will definitely be free for purchases, and a fee of 1% will apply for selling. Okay. Silubium currency management, that is not something any of you will have to worry about, really. But there will be certain I guess you could call it moderation and regulation and management activities which the Silk Trader platform will be recruiting people to deal with. That will be in the future, though. For anyone that does have their own coin and would like to have it listed at silktrader.net, you can definitely contact me. In fact, let me put my email address here as well. It is Rygelt at Silubium.com. So if you'd like your coin listed at silktrader.net, definitely let me know. But the fees for listing your coins will be determined on a case-by-case basis. I am pushing the silktrader.net trading platform to list coins for free. I have made some headway as far as that goes. It is looking like a possibility, but definitely contact me if you would like your coin listed at silktrader.net, since I am closely involved with the development on the silktrader.net platform. This once again was actually for internal purposes. I thought I'd include it anyway. Basically, in order for any coin to gain value that includes Silubium, we would like to include more and more third-party online payment processors, or have them accept Silubium as a payment option rather. And then obviously increasing the amount of people that own Silubium. This is increasing very rapidly, but the more people own Silubium, the greater the value will be, theoretically speaking. Alright, the rest of the stuff is just features specifically relating to Silk Trader mainly, so I won't get into that now, since this presentation is more focused on Silubium 2.0. Alright, so Q&A obviously wouldn't be that practical for anyone watching this video, since it isn't live, but you can definitely put any of your questions in the comments section, and I will get back to as many as I can. You can also contact me, and I will put my email address here again. And contact me for any questions you may have about Silubium or the silktrader.net trading platform. And Another thing, by the way, if you do want to buy Silubium, but you don't necessarily want to buy it via siltrader.com, siltrader.net, for whatever reason, you can also contact me if you would like to buy Silubium via PayPal. This is something that can be done as well. Yeah, just contact me via email if you like. Okay, so that's that. For any of you that have watched this presentation, it wasn't very fancy, but I thought it's quite important to get an update out there, specifically for cryptocurrency investors and those of you who have been contacting me and asking about Silubium and Silubium 2.0. I would like to thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to the next update, which hopefully will be very soon. But once again, feel free to contact me either via the comment section or even better via Ryker@silubium.com. Right, thanks again everybody. This is Ryker Freegeld signing off, and chat to you guys soon. Goodbye for now.